Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for being a member of my channel so you get the insider information, so quote unquote. Now, the stock I'm about to show you guys, I haven't released on my channel yet. I like to give you guys the insider information about I believe that stock is going to grow up. Now, we're going to do a quick stock review. We're not going to get into the details because I've done the research for you guys. That's the benefit of being a member of my channel. So that paid subscription, you should be getting some value for your money. That's exactly what I believe. So let me go over here and I want you guys to look at this very quickly with me. So the name of this stock is Grow Generation, okay? And this stock is headquartered out of Denver, Colorado. So let's go over it. So the past 5 years, which it hasn't been, if you notice they just released in January, they've been up almost 500%. The past year, they've been up 379%. The past 3 months, they've been up 156%. The past month, 24%. I'm rounding up. The past week, 25%, and today they're already up to 28%. Now, I should have gave you guys this information a long time ago, as well as I should invest into the stock, but nonetheless, let me tell you about the stock and why I believe that you should invest in it right now. Okay, so Grow Generation engages in the retail of hydroponic and organic specialty gardening products. It offers lighting fixtures, nutrients, seeds, and growing media, system, trays, fans, filters, humidifiers, and dehumidifiers, timers and instruments, water pumps, irrigation supply, and hand tools. The company was founded by Darren Lambert and Michael Solomon on March 6, 2014. It's headquartered in Denver, Colorado. The listed name is Grow Generation Core. Now, they have 184 employees, founded in 2014 with a PE ratio of 1.15K. Now, what's important about this particular stock is that they mainly support growing of cannabis. Okay, they mainly support the growing of marijuana and cannabis. Why is that important? Now, I want you guys to see this. Going over this news, and if you guys don't know about Kamala Harris, she is pro-cannabis, and that's why this election is very important that people understand. Whether you voted for the other party, Republican, or you voted for Democrat, I don't care. It's about making that money. So in making that money, we need to understand that Kamala Harris is pro-cannabis legalization. It says here, Kamala Harris says she's pro-cannabis legalization, as was made apparent during the debate last night. Her record says otherwise. Now, Joe Biden doesn't support legalization of marijuana, but he does support decriminalizing it for you going to jail and you just getting some rehab. So that's also promising as well. But now they're talking about, it says here that Biden wasn't the only candidate to take a beating. In one particular brutal moment, it talks about Kamala Harris, a former California Attorney General who is widely considered one of the leading candidates in the race, attacking her for her prosecutorial record and accusing of her blocking evidence to potential freedom man from death row. They talk about that, and it says she's put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violation and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. Now, just because this is a contradiction, I know. Just because she supposedly put these 1,500 people away for marijuana use does not mean she does not support marijuana. Her history is saying that she does. It goes into a deeper story about her, but I have some other stories here that we look and see where Vice President candidate Kamala Harris stands on. She said last week, my bill, listen to this, my bill to legalize marijuana passed through the House committee with bipartisan support. So that's very important. That happened in August, so not too long ago, okay? So she is pro-cannabis. Now, a lot of people are believing that Joe Biden will not last the entire 4 years and Kamala Harris will be deemed the first, mixed race woman, non-white or female and non-white to be president, okay? As far as a female president, as well as being mixed race with African and Asian descent, and that's Indian to be specific. So nonetheless, it says right here, that's his running mate. It says, as a former vice president has maintained position to ending marijuana prohibition despite supermajority among Democrats. Then it says, when she unsuccessfully ran in 2020 Democratic president primary, she's been less vocal about the issue since dropping out in 2019. Now that she's in the House, it says sponsor of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment Expunged More Act, a comprehensive piece of legalization legislation that includes various social equity and restorative justice provision, advocates will be watching, okay, let me blow this up, sorry about that, to advocate for former to reform move as she's on board to the Joe Biden campaign. The senator indicated in July that she doesn't plan to push the presumptive presidential nominee on the issue. She's not going to push it. She's going to encourage Joe Biden to legalize weed. Now, he may not do it, but again, people believe that Joe Biden has a lot of mental issues and that he's not going to last the entire 4 years. But that's not a promise. That's not guaranteed. We just don't know. But this will help the decriminalizing of marijuana, which will, as I said before, 5 states came out within, was it late October, early January, talking about how they are going to legalize weed because they looked at Colorado, they looked at Washington, they looked at Oregon, they looked at a couple other states, how they have boosted their revenue per year and literally are pulling their states out of debt. Here's a deeper look at where Harris stands on marijuana, talks about legislation and policy actions. The fact is marijuana laws are not applied and enforced in the same way for all people. That's why I've signed on to Cory Booker's Marijuana Justice Act to make marijuana legal at the federal level. It's the smart thing to do. That is what Kamala Harris has said. So again, let's look at this very quickly.
To do to finally make marijuana legal at the federal level in the United States. I am proud to formally announce that I'm signing on to the Marijuana Justice Act. It's the smart thing to do, it's the right thing to do. And I know this as a former prosecutor, I know it as a senator, and I know it when I just look at what we want as a country and where we need to be instead of where we've been. Let's get smart. So the fact is that marijuana laws are not applied and enforced in the same way for all people. So for example, African Americans use marijuana at roughly the same rate as whites, but are approximately 4 times more likely to be arrested for possession. That's just not fair. So we need to change the system.
I'm proud to stand with Senator Kamala Harris and others in supporting the Marijuana Justice Act. The Marijuana Justice Act does a number of things. First of all, it incentivizes states to change their marijuana laws, to end this prohibition.
The laws that we currently have are not fair in terms of application and in terms of enforcement. We know that there are certain communities that use marijuana and without any repercussion whatsoever. They're able to go to work, they're able to go to school, and they're not judged in terms of their society.
2 of the last 3 presidents admitted to using drugs. Congresspeople, senators have admitted to using marijuana.
But there are other communities for which it's completely criminalized. And people end up being arrested, they end up being prosecuted, they end up spending time in jail or prison.
There are so many young people today, and others, who have a felony marijuana charge, which is like a lifetime sentence. They can't get food stamps. They can't get public housing, many jobs. They can't get loans from banks. It's time they were not only legalize marijuana in our states, but expunge the records of those who've been carrying that burden of past convictions for too long.
All because of their use of a drug that otherwise should be considered legal. And for states like California and other states that have decriminalized marijuana, by passing this act, it will prevent the United States Department of Justice from coming into our states and enforcing laws that we have decided are unjust and unfair.
Number 2, it creates a pool of investment to reinvest in those communities who have disproportionately felt the impact of the war on drugs.
The war on drugs was a war on communities.
And investing in those communities that have been disproportionately impacted. Investing in education programs, investing in libraries, investing in job training, investing in treatment. This must be about restorative justice as well. Marijuana prohibition has wasted billions and billions of our taxpayer dollars, of our public resources. It has taken up the time and attention of police officers and law enforcement who should be dealing with more serious drugs, more serious crimes, and protecting our communities.
I'm not somebody smoking a joint.
The prohibition against marijuana has not lived up to our values of equal justice under the law. It's time for us to end this war on drugs.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. I love that video because she said at the end, her last comment was, "I'm not somebody smoking a joint right now." Because you know she gonna be smoking later on, and you know those boule sophisticated types, they may not do the smoking because they may know the harmful things that smoking may do, but they may ingest it, have some edibles, sprinkle some of the leaves in their food. But hey, listen, they get high, they love their scotch, they love their wine, just like the rest of us do. So don't let a pretty suit and a smiling face fool you guys. But with her in office and her supporting the Marijuana Act, now at one point in time, I thought it was just for political reasons, but this can be very sustainable with her and Joe Biden in the presidency and encouraging states to decriminalize weed. Now, just because they decriminalize it and they don't legalize it, but sales are going to go outside the roof. Whether, we're talking about a company by Growth Generation. This is the stock I'm giving you because it's blowing up, okay? It's absolutely blowing up. Now, this is out of Denver, Colorado. A lot of people from states that don't sell marijuana with the THC, rather they just sell it with the CBD. If they want the THC, they may go to other states. But if they decriminalize it in your state, trust and believe, people will be going out of state to get this weed and bring it back. And once those states realize that people are going out of states, once they decriminalize it for recreational use, they're going to start legalizing weed in those states to get some of that revenue. Just like Washington, just like Oregon, just like, Colorado, just like South Dakota and all these other states that are now getting inside of bed with THC, CBD products and to legalize weed on all accounts, recreational and medicinal use. So again, we have to have future knowledge in order to make some money off this stock. So again, we're looking at Growth Generation. The ticker is GRWG. And this is what I call kind of my insider. And it's been doing very, very well. Let's look at it one more time. I'm going to go out towards a year and look at the uptick here, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing it's been doing is been going up, 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 up. And you should definitely invest in it. And I'm going to invest in it as well. So that's your stop tip for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys think that was an actual good choice. But nonetheless, if you notice, I've never really talked about this one. I like to keep some really preserved, great information for the members who decided to join my channel, so you can kind of get a jump on these investments. Now, again, all the analysts saying 100% buy, no sell. This is Financial Literacy 101. You guys have a great, wonderful day. Until, again, maybe another 2 or 3 weeks or so, I'll give you guys another stock tip or some insider financial information. You guys have a great, wonderful day. I'm out.